About 250 miles up the Florida West Coast, this interesting-looking shoreline in Cedar Key tells a story of resilience. Like many neighboring areas along the Nature Coast, this small island community is bouncing back nearly 6 months after Hurricane Idalia, the strongest storm to hit Florida's Big Bend.
You had like a debris line that went like this.
Dr. Savannah Berry specializes in what's called a living shoreline. It's a greener, softer approach to protecting coastal areas from erosion.
This project has been hit by several tropical storms and outer bands of Hurricane Sally and Hurricane Michael, and it's really performed well.
Using native plants and natural materials, scientists are testing its effectiveness at reducing wave energy. Dr. Berry took us on a tour to see how the project fared after the island was inundated by Idalia last August.
So you can kind of see what it looked like before if you look on the other side of where our project ends.
Domes of oysters were used as the first line of defense, acting as a more natural barrier to break up waves. Scientists strategically planted cordgrass behind the oysters to serve as an added buffer. As Hurricane Idalia approached, researchers set up wave gauges to track the wave energy, comparing it with nearby gauges without the protection of a living shoreline. The result? A 15 to 20% reduction in wave energy.
So I think that gives people examples to lean on and helps build confidence in this approach.
Living shorelines have also been tested to protect structures from wave damage. This seawall right here was failing and had to be constantly repaired. So researchers installed more natural barriers like these grassy marshes to absorb some of the wave energy, and it worked.
Like a flat seawall, it just hits and smacks, and the seawall doesn't give at all. So that give and movement of the stems is part of what helps reduce wave energy.
A successful living shoreline is easier to maintain and expands naturally. It's happening here. Take a look at this project near the Sanibel Causeway. A partnership between the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation and Lee County have made it possible. It reduces wave energy and provides a habitat for oysters. This image from 2005 is before installation. Today, it's much more established, with a growing mangrove and oyster population. The increased mangroves likely decrease wave heights and prevented more damage to the Sanibel Harbor Resort during Hurricane Ian. At Rookery Bay in Collier County, this small living shoreline is lined with triangular prisms, made with natural materials and filled with shells.
There's very apparent signs of erosion, so we want to prevent all this sediment from washing there.
Living shorelines also create a great habitat for fish and other native species to thrive.
The more life in the area will bring sort of more life in the area, because the ocean and the reef is a noisy place if you listen to it.
The success of living shorelines is now making noise in the scientific community. The growing body of research shows its effectiveness at reducing erosion and even potential damage from storms. The only question is, how much of your paradise are you willing to give up for the added layer of protection?
If you're trying to protect against very large storms, that's going to require much higher profile and much larger investments that are harder to construct and more disruptive to, your view, your ability to enjoy the coastline and the shoreline.
With tourism being such a big thing in Florida, we want to make sure that these environments are here to stay, so provides the economic benefit and even the cultural benefits of us fishing over here, being able to enjoy that for years to come.
Meteorologist Jason Dunning, NBC2.